This is my video. In this video I will talk about my experience with Goddess Kali Ma, or also known as the Goddess Kali, and how she helped me through a really difficult situation. Now I will describe how I contacted Kali in the first place, because since this is Tantric Sorcery series about Hindu magic, I am obligated to reveal how I did it, so that you know the technology and so you can do it yourself. I didn't had yantra to contact Kali, but I had yantra to contact other spirits which reside in the lower realms. And since Kali is known to reside in higher and lower realms at the same time, I used spirits such as Pishacha Mayalaka, called them first, and then with their help I summoned Kali Ma without the yantra. So I call Pishacha Mayalakan up, then I instruct him to help me summon Kali, and then I vibrate the name of Kali Ma over and over again until Kali arrives. This is difficult process because there is no yantra, so since there is no direct gateway, summoning is much more difficult, but I was able to come into contact with the spirit this way. I did this after my preparation for the Mahashivaratri. During preparation I I exercised a lot, and during the day of Mahashivaratri I vibrated Om Namah Shivaya a lot and had really weird experiences, but they were so intense that my body was left completely weakened by my chronic illness. And when I asked my spirit guides what to do, since I wasn't able to move and function normally, they told me to call Kali, and I called Kali the way I instructed you. And she kind of helped me. And I am working with Kali, calling her with the same methodology ever since. So this is a little bit indirect methodology, what I mentioned previously, but it works for me. And my experience with Kali was she is extremely protective, but aggressive at the same time. She is extremely dark and destructive, but nurturing at the same time. And I called many spirits and many energies, but she is by far the darkest spirit I ever summoned, or one of the darkest. I worked with bunch of demonic spirits from Christianity and Judaism in the level of dark and dense energy they possess. Nobody comes even close to Kali. Now, when I say dark, I am simply describing the characteristic of energy. I don't mean evil. Kali is not evil, Kali is not good, Kali simply is. And in my experience, her energy is extremely dark. And she is extremely demanding to work with. She is difficult to summon, and she is also difficult to appease, but her knowledge seems to be really direct and extremely practical. Now, I petitioned Kali Ma to help me outside of my health improvement with a particular issue. I work as a sorcerer for hire, that's my job, and I do not charge people if I use Anayanist rituals, because I am still initiate into Ayanism. So when I need to use Ayanist rituals to help somebody, I do not charge. I charge only when I use rituals containing spirits from Western demonology, because I am experienced much more in the system of Western demonology than in system of Abhichara Tantra. But I decided to kinda apply Kali to solve the cases I am working on for free. I am working with one particular case for more than a year, and I am also approached by a lot of people who have similar issue. And that issue is those people claim to have spiritual attachment, and they claim to see spirits who are attached to them, and they claim to hear the voices in their head 24/7. And normal psychiatric methods seem to not help those individuals. Modern psychiatric methods seem to only deal with the symptoms and not with the cause. And I had 3 or 4 people messaged me with the same issue. And I was working only on one of those cases for more than a year. I never charged the person. I never requested payment from those individuals. I simply worked on the case because I wanted to find out how to solve it. It was sorcerer's curiosity. And I kinda called Kali in a method I described, and after she helped me, I asked her how to solve those cases. And what she told me is she described to me the following. She described that those attachments appear in a following manner. Now, the reason why I am sending this video to the Iron World Foundation is because I want my theories to be examined and tested by the much more knowledgeable people than I am. But technically what the Kali said to me is that those people get traumatized or cursed. And what happens is the shadow part of their soul, the dark part of their soul, overloaded with their negative karma and negative energy, breaks away from them, but it still remains attached to them. And that broken part of the soul, which was overloaded with negative karma and trauma, attracts other negative spirits from the lower worlds, which merge with that broken aspect of the soul. And it creates a ripple effect of person attracting more and more negativity in their lives, more and more negative entities. And it has no ending, because you exorcise one of them, and then after some time, due to the same vibrational field around the person, it returns. So no matter how many times you exorcise, what happens is spirits simply return after some time when the exorcism is performed. So Kali suggested something which I never considered, but it was suggested also by other spirits I worked with, which are not from the Hindu tradition. And what Kali suggested is, she didn't tell me anything, but she gave me a vision, okay? She gave me a vision of some cremation grounds, and you had Hindu black magicians there. And people would come to magicians with negative spirits attached, and what magicians will do, what those agoris will do, what those tantrics will do, is they will simply pronounce mantras, draw certain yantras, and then the negative entity will be attached to the magician instead of the afflicted person. And Agori would be able to control entity without any issues due to enormous amount of negative energy he already received. So what happened then was a really interesting thing. I was suddenly approached by certain individual who was not a Hindu sorcerer, but who claimed that he knows the method. by which he can bind negative entity from afflicted person to me. And I accepted to be a willing participant in this experiment. And he bound the entity, the negative entity from afflicted person I was working to cure to me. And what happened was something the most shocking I ever experienced. So as soon as ritual was completed, I felt enormous amount of negative energy on me, but after a few hours I started becoming accustomed to it. An entity seemed to be less and less harmful to me as the time passed. I referred to negative entity transferred from the person to me. And I called person who was afflicted by negative entity and who had voices in her head without any reason why. And the person told me that after ritual is completed, he still heard the voices, but she felt immediate improvement. And one really negative aspect of her experience with that was permanently removed. So what I am planning to do is I am planning to keep calling Kali with methodology I already have to summoning her. And I will keep examining that person and removing those negative entities from her one by one and binding them to myself. I was also told by Kali that this kind of working, transmuting of negativity in form of spirits and energy, others to me, is part of my spiritual path. It is part of my way towards my own spiritual evolution. So I am asking guys from my Unworld Foundation to kind of help me sharpen this technique, sharpen this technology, and give me some yantra which will make me much more qualified to summon Kali herself. Because wherever I go, it always ends in visions which kinda guide me towards summoning Kali more. But I call her indirectly through the method I already described earlier. And I will experiment on my own with this, but I would be really glad if I had somebody from the Iron World Foundation guiding me with their own methodologies. I am instructed with doing this anyway, so I have to do this. It's not something I like doing. This is simply the next part of my spiritual evolution, transformation, call it whatever you want. But I would really, really, really like to at least have Kali Yantra or somebody who will explain me better what's happening. Because this is definitely working. I'm kind of not overwhelmed by the spirit attached. And person is definitely much better now. And I will kind of keep doing this until I help completely this particular person, and then I will go to the next guy who needs help, and then to the next guy who needs help, until I kind of perfect the issue and perfect the technology. I had for years people messaging me with similar problems, and the reason why I started experimenting with this on my own, it's not because I think I am the only guy capable. I am not. There is much more capable guys than me. But I was kind of asking for information and I was trying to help those individuals with exorcisms, and other people tried to, but it doesn't seem to work. You exorcise it and then it returns, because there is no any place for it to be stored. There is no way of permanently disposing those spirits somewhere. So yeah, I was kind of instructed via visions to do this, and I'm doing this, and I will update you guys where this will end, how this will develop. And yeah, if Iron World Foundation can provide me with their techniques for doing this better, or at least with Kali Yantra, I would be greatly grateful to the foundation. I will help them financially as much as I can. But I am working on this particular person for a year and 2 months. And I tried literally everything. Any form of exorcism available, any form of cleansing, any form of healing. And nothing seemed to work. But as soon as I performed this transfer of the spirits, of negative spirits from person to me, it immediately helped the person. And this is the only thing which seems to be working. And the reason why I am asking is because, for some reason, whatever, a lot of people with same issue keep messaging me. I had like 6, 7, 8 people messaging me with this problem just this year, and I was forced to kind of tell them all that whatever I tried and whatever somebody else tried, because I asked many of my friends who practice Western esotericism to help me in those cases, and nothing seemed to be working. This is the only method, the method of transferring those negative energies from them to me, is the only method which gave, in the case I am working on, permanent results, which are not reversing over time. So that's why I am asking Foundation for help, and that's why I am asking for additional information. And thank you for watching, and see you next time. And if somebody can provide me information, I would be really grateful.